Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Teri Hunter. I'm an angel therapy practitioner, intuitive astrologer, empowerment coach, and Reiki master. And I'm here today, June 22nd, 2021, with this week's Pick an Angel card reading. What this is I am going to do 3 different readings, and you're going to allow your intuition to guide you as to which reading will be most appropriate for you for this week. And before you pick your reading, take a minute to set an intention for what you want to know. We are all co-creators on this planet. Nothing is really happening to us as much as we have a certain amount of an intention, a momentum that our energy creates as a result of our thought process. And our thought process reveals what we believe, and we take our actions based on that belief. So as you take a minute to really ask Spirit how you could be most influential over a situation, whether it be your love life, whether it be your work life, your family, anything you ask. Just ask how you could be most influential in getting the outcome you want. And I think that'll serve you best. So I'm going to start with angel reading number 1. And ahead of time, I pulled the cards, and this is the theme. This is the High Priest by Kyle Gray. I use that deck, Angels and Ancestors by Kyle Gray. And whatever the question is that you asked for this week, it's asking you to intend and to create, to allow your own intentions, your own actions, your own thought process to set the tone for your manifestation this week, and also to connect with an intuitive part of yourself that already knows that you're co-creating in this lifetime. So as we go into the spread, the first position is going to represent the foundational aspect, the dynamic with which you sit on as we walk through the week. And in the foundational aspect, we have Celeste, the angel Celeste, which represents a new home or a new place of employment. And then we have the frog, which is a releasing of emotional baggage, a cleaning up of our house. Very interesting that we have a house and Celeste representing home as well. So I think that there is the high probability that something could take place around your home or your neighborhood. And this will offer you an opportunity to really choose your perspective. And in choosing your perspective, you have an opportunity to really set the tone for how this plays out, your intentions moving forward. And what those intentions will be dictated by, I think, are this is our opportunity and our obstacle. And Teresa represents worrying about other people, about what their needs are, what their opinions are. And here's the cow. The cow represents nourishment, asking and receiving, and abundance. So this is your opportunity, also your obstacle. You have an opportunity to receive what you want to create, what your intention is for the week. And if indeed it is about a home, about moving to a new place, really starting to care about what is most important to you. What dynamics are you looking for? And also, if this is about a job, if you're asking about a profession, I want to offer it this way, because you may be fearful of asking a potential new employer for things that you need in order to thrive within your job. And I feel like this is an opportunity for you to set a tone moving forward where it isn't so much about being challenging in what it is you want, but to assess the job, assess the situation from your perspective. Sort of, I guess what I'm trying to say is, if we're looking for a job, usually we hope to impress the employer. We hope to do well on the interview. We don't really consider if the employer will do well with us during the interview. And this is what I think this is about. If this is about moving your home or your residence, then I think this is really about not worrying so much, but rather knowing that if you choose something that you love, if you start to look where you want to live versus where you think you can afford to live, Spirit can bring something across your path that you might not have anticipated. I live in an area that I did not think I could afford to live in, and I started to tell Spirit that I wanted to live in this area, that it really attracted me. And in doing so, Spirit started to align dynamics, people, and resources to bring me to a place that I could afford materially. And in doing so, I've lived here for 18 years now, and it's created a certain momentum. So we have an opportunity to move to a new job, a new place of employment, and also to shift our perception in some ways to be much closer to the high priest, for your intentions to take hold, for you to receive what it is you want, and to be mindful about caring too much about other people's opinion. Because in the angel's advice is Bridget asking you to look deeper into a situation, and there is the king. The king is about justice. It's about things pertaining to the law. It's also about male energy. And I think that this is a just and fair time for you to receive what you have worked towards, what you, I want to say what you deserve monetarily. Sometimes we go into a job or go into a situation and we just base everything on the wallet. And I think that this is really about looking in a bigger picture about how this position, this job, this opportunity that's coming up with work, with home, and how it's going to play out for you. Because if for some reason you're lowballing yourself, I think it's about taking a second look. Because in the final position, we have Akasha, the teacher, and here's the focus card. And what I think this is an opportunity for you to learn about your focus and how your focus can create abundance or can pinch off your abundance. So let me round this off by saying, for those of you that picked angel reading number 1, I think whatever you're endeavoring this week, it's important for you to intend at a deeper level of what you want to experience, not in this immediate moment, but a year from now, 2 years from now, or 10 years from now, because you're setting up the foundation for that. And the recipe is to offer you some sort of reconciliation, something about feeling. The frogs represent good luck and abundance. And Spirit is saying this is your opportunity. And now is a time to really consider what it is that you want in the situation, and that other people will be cooperative within that dynamic. And then you are going to learn so much about your focus that it will make you a very powerful co-creator with the universe. And I want to finally say this, because if indeed for some reason you picked reading number 1 and you're not looking for a new job, or you're not looking for a new residence, celestial for me represent a way of thinking. I have a very specific way of thinking, and most of my actions are based on that way of thinking. So I want to say that Celeste can represent a shift in my thinking that allows me to let go of an old pattern, an old thought process, or something that has been tethering me to something I don't find favorable. And in realizing that this is a time for me, I've been asking to let go of this. I've been asking for this reconciliation, and now is a time of reception and no longer a time to worry about it or focus on that worry, because it is now, the angels say it's time, it's just, it's fair, and it's time for you to start to get on board with it. It's almost like we get in this habit of worry that no matter how much we have worked on that worry or spiritually evolved past that worry, there's a bit of a boomerang that can happen. And this is where Spirit is saying you have so much that you can learn from your focus. And as you shift that focus into a more abundant place, you will start to see the benefit of that. All right, let's go on to angel reading number 2. As an energetic theme for this week, I asked Spirit to give me a Kyle Gray card for those of you that picked angel reading number 2. And I got the Lord. And this particular energy is interesting. It's very much like Aries. We see the rams in the background. We see the horns on him. We also see this sort of Venusian, this sign of the Knights Templar, it kind of looks like to me. But I want to offer it this way, because this taking charge with authority is really not about getting in someone's face in an aggressive way. It's more about a determination and a stance of, I'm going to be the Lord of my own life. I'm going to be the ruler of my own life. And if for some reason, well, let's see what the intention is, because the foundational position will tell us what this is about, taking authority in your life. Okay, so those of you that picked angel reading number 2, the goblin is sitting in the foundational position, and then we have crystal. Crystal represents having faith and hope beyond what you can see with your eyes, and the goblin, as you can tell, is clearly the wounded ego. And I think that this is about relationships. I think this is how you're being perceived in the world. And now is a time to allow yourself to shift that perception. And rather than having the ego tell you you're not worthy, or you don't deserve, or you've been hurt, it's time to realize that the ego could be where you're edging God out. And now is time to see with your intuitive eyes, because what is sour in some ways, what could potentially be a disruptive energy, as that moves out, more happiness is being offered to you. Because in our opportunity and our obstacle is a stair saying to reach for the stars with your dreams and desires and don't compromise. And then the cat is about having healthy boundaries. I think very much this could be the potential that this is relationship based, and the relationship is a bit challenging. And now it's time to take a stance within that relationship, not necessarily to be aggressive, but to neutralize any sort of negativity that has been taking place and allow the relationship to evolve. And if indeed another human being isn't available or isn't willing to evolve, you can evolve within yourself. Because in the angel's advice, it's time for you to enjoy joy. And then we have the Rosetta. And Rosetta is really, in this particular position, is about a childlike innocence, a childlike joy. And that independence that you are asserting is going to bring in this joy. Sometimes we get into relationships with people, especially people who are long-term relationships or family relationships, and they're just challenging. They just bump up against each other. And I really think that this is an opportunity for you to shift that dynamic, for you to say, you know, I can appreciate your point of view. I don't necessarily need to agree with it, but I don't need to argue with you about it. Just step out. Because in the final position, this is about your choice, and your choice to stand in the energy of your truth, your higher self. Indriel represents the light worker, and God and the angels are asking you to shine your light. And as you can see, there's a bright light around this angel's head. And I think it's because she's had an epiphany. And I think for those of you that have offered or have picked angel reading number 2, you're being offered an opportunity to see where you are having your ego bruised, having yourself hurt. And it's not necessary, in the sense that if you choose to give yourself a little space from the situation, to step back from the situation, you can see more balance. And in doing so, feeling better about yourself within the relationship. All right, let's go on to angel reading number 3. I picked, for angel reading number 3, I picked the Kyle Gray card from the deck Angels and Ancestors. I picked Mother Earth. Feel loved and comforted. And I want to offer this in such a way. We have a full moon this week. It is in the sign of Capricorn. And the moon represents the mother energy of nurturing. So allow yourself this week to feel at ease as this full moon brings an illumination. It is a super moon. And when we have full moons, we have culminations of certain experiences. And I feel like for those of you that picked angel reading number 3, this week is going to either bring an epiphany or some culmination where you will now choose to be into situations, in relationships, and in dynamics that support you feeling loved and comforted. And so in our foundational position, we have Archangel Raphael, the angel of healing. And the owl here is giving me perception. I now feel like I've had this illumination, and I now can see clearly deception and wisdom. I almost want to call it positive and negative, because I feel like I'm seeing the wisdom of a negative, and I'm seeing in some ways the challenges of the positive. And if for some reason I have been faking feeling positive, now is a time to be more authentic within that, and to allow myself the privilege to know that every shadow moment takes me into the light in some way. So in our opportunity and our obstacle, we have the deer, and we have Caressa. Caressa talks about a new chapter, and this full moon would indicate the ending of one chapter, and a new chapter is beginning. And I want to offer it this way, because this new chapter has the elements to bring in much more happiness, and your willingness to be gentle and diplomatic with yourself as you communicate to yourself, it's okay for me to see something that I find challenging or unpleasant, and to let it sit and to move towards what does feel pleasant. Because in the angel's advice, we have Oceana saying to take action, you're in touch with your truth, and to lovingly assert yourself towards that truth. And then we have the serpent, which is a card of healing. So here we have two very powerful energies offering a healing, a reconciliation, an understanding of what this challenge or what this period of time may have offered you. And now you can invite in more ease, more comfort, more support, because in the final position, it's time to assert yourself. Athena talks about lovingly asserting yourself, and the dragon emulates the same energy. And that loving assertion is not about making someone else wrong. It's not about trying to stop someone else from their own fears, from their own beliefs, or from what they want to experience. I kind of want to go here. There's, obviously we're in 2021, people are being vaccinated for COVID, and some people are against the vaccinations. I'm using this only as an example. If you are on one side of the fence and people you love are on the other side of the fence, your job, I think, is to allow a bigger picture here, to allow yourself to be where you want to be and allow others to be where they want to be. And in doing so, you actually are offering in more harmony, more peace, more gentility, more diplomacy. And it brings in another layer of healing, of reconciliation, of a bridge. And it allows you to find a voice within yourself that you may not have felt before, where you could express something that may have felt challenging, but it's coming across in a way that isn't giving you a challenging situation. It's giving you an understanding and giving those around you a greater understanding, and very likely an appreciation for your authenticity. So I think it's important for you, of those of you that picked angel reading number 3, to feel loved and supported by a much bigger picture of what's out there, to emulate a mothering energy, a nurturing energy, an intuitive energy for yourself that then you take out into the general world. Okay, that's it for me for this week. I'm going to, I don't know what I was going to say, just spaced right out. If you'd like to book a reading with me, my information is in the description below. My name is Teri Hunter. That's TERIHUNTER. If you'd like to book a reading with me, if you'd like to book an astrology reading with me, feel free to contact me. And I'll be back next week with another pick an angel card reading. Sorry, I'm a little choppy. Mercury is still in its storm period before it goes direct, and my brain's been a little squirrely. And there's a skateboarder outside that's distracting me a little bit as well. So anyway, thanks for joining. I appreciate you. Please like, please subscribe, please comment, please share. Thank you. Love, peace out.